A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Nikita and I welcome you all to BYJU'S Exam Prep and I welcome you to our ongoing series 100 MAHCET English Questions. This is the part 5 of this series. I hope you've been attending this series from the very beginning. If you haven't been, then do go through the previous sessions. I have tried to cover the probable question types, the question types that have been asked in your previous year exams, and I have shown you the approach to these questions, how to approach them, how to eliminate using options. Okay. Hi, Yogita. Good afternoon. Hello, Ajay. All right. So I hope all of you have been preparing consistently. All of you have been working hard and you have improved. If you are consistent with vocabulary, you yourself will see an improvement after some days. So I hope that you have seen it. If you haven't, then keep at it. I assure you that, once you have amassed a significant pool of words, high frequency words, you will find it easier to at least eliminate in your vocabulary questions, right? As far as grammar is concerned, again, we discussed this. I have told you that in grammar, you have to first learn the concepts, okay, and then apply them to various questions. And trust me, you have that kind of time that you can learn the main concepts of various grammar topics. Okay, so keep practicing, keep learning, and again in grammar, you will see that you are able to identify the precise error in a particular sentence. Right? Happens after some practice. Okay. Hi Shravasti. Hi Sanket. Hello Mohan. Good noon, Rajput. Hi Abhi. Hello, Kajal. Good afternoon, Business Maestro. Right. So, today again, we'll talk about vocabulary, grammar, right? My focus today is on more on vocabulary. I do have some grammar questions also because vocabulary came in a significant number last year, right? And this includes your synonym, antonym, your usual questions plus some different question types, right? So let's do all those question types that came last year that have come in the years prior to that as well. Right. So I'll give you 20 seconds for the direct questions. That's how it works, right? So synonym, antonym, direct questions, 20 seconds. For contextual vocabulary, meaning fill in the blanks, I'll give you 30 seconds. Okay. And in a question type where I feel, okay, this is quite difficult or this is time consuming, there I'll give you more than 30, sometimes 40 and sometimes even up to a minute. Okay. So let's see a 20-second question first. Find the synonym of accommodating. Sorry, this is an antonym question. I am so sorry. Find the antonym of accommodating. My bad. All right. Good noon, Chetan. Hi, Girish. Hello, Sakshi. Hi, Amit. Ajay has already answered. But nothing has been confirmed yet. So for the previous 2, 3 sessions, students have been asking me this, and I have maintained a radio silence on this for the reason that nothing is confirmed as of now. So I can't give you a confirmation regarding this. Okay. So MHCT has not released an official notification regarding 25th and 26th yet. Okay. So that's why I can't comment on it. And they posted it on their Twitter handle, I believe, that okay, that 25th and 26th are the dates. However, if you notice that Twitter handle has just 97 followers. So let's wait for the official notification so that I can conclusively and with surety I can tell you that okay, this is the date. Right? That's why I've been refraining from commenting on this. Okay, so I've got a lot of C's, all right, and I've got a couple of A's also. So hospitable is the synonym. Okay, so probably some of you said A because I had written synonym here, and you are absolutely correct. Hospitable is a synonym. However, these other words are also synonyms. Okay, so this was a question that you had to attempt through grouping. Right. So, if you see, pliable, someone who's very obedient, someone who will just listen to what you say and obey what you say, that person is pliable, very adjusting, very accommodating. So, accommodating is adjusting, right? Then something that is someone who is hospitable, again, would agree with you, adjust with you, right? So, uh, such people are ready to help. They are pretty hospitable. They are adapting, adjusting. They'll obey what you say. They're also indulgent. Indulgent is a word that's often used for parents, grandparents. Yes, indulgent parents, indulgent grandparents. So they are very lenient with the child. They are ready to agree with what the child says. Such parents or grandparents are called indulgent parents or grandparents. Right? So even this is a similar idea to accommodating. Handy. Yes. What does the word mean? Handy. So one is that something that's easy to use, yes, so that's very handy. Something that's very convenient, that's handy, right? So although this is not an exact substitute of accommodating, but again, it indicates that ease of use, that readiness to be used. And that is why even this is not an antonym. Estranged, on the other hand, yes. What does this mean? I've often read it in the newspapers regarding, let's say, relationships. So his estranged wife spoke up, yes, regarding the matter. So estranged is somebody who is no longer affectionate to someone, okay, no longer living with someone. That's the idea. No longer living with or affectionate to someone. That is estranged. Okay. All right. Right. So accommodating's opposite idea. Yeah. Someone who's accommodating is ready to adjust with you. Someone who's estranged, of course, is not ready to adjust with you. And it's often used in the context of one's spouse. Okay. So hope this is clear to you. All right. Amenable, it's a similar idea. Yes, business maestro. So if conditions are amenable, they are favorable. Okay. Amenable conditions are favorable conditions, conducive conditions, right? So yes, they are similar ideas. Okay, easy to use is handy, correct, correct. Good. So I think you've got this, that C should be the answer, and most of you answered C. Excellent. Let's go to another question. Now tell me the antonym of confront. All right. So, what do you say? 20 seconds are up. Let's see who answers the fastest. Okay, Om says E. All right. Others? Okay, okay. Ajay E, Yash E, Shravasti E, Vaibhavi D. Okay. All right. Others? B also I've got. Business Maestro says B. Accost. To accost someone. When you accost someone, what do? You want to talk to them or you want to avoid them? You rather approach them pretty boldly. That is when you are accosting someone, isn't it? So, accost is a similar idea to confront. So when you confront someone, you go face to face with them, and usually it's an aggressive conversation that you're going to have with that person. So accost is also a similar idea. You approach someone pretty boldly, pretty aggressively also at times, right? And annoy, again, see, these are, if you see, the words have negative connotation here. So even annoy, when you annoy someone, when you badger someone, when you constantly trouble them, how would you do them? How would you do this? You would, let's say, try to talk to them again and again, confront them again and again. So annoy is also a similar idea. So both the questions that I took today, they were of the sort that you could group here very easily and eliminate. Right? So A, B, C, and D all are similar ideas. Okay. Now, I understand some of you may not have associated hail with confront. Yes, some of you may have faced that problem, because normally when we hail someone, we also praise him or her. That's one of the meanings of hail, right? She hailed the player, okay, when he scored a century. So she praised the player. So, however, we also hail a cab. Have you ever heard this usage? She hailed a cab. In that case, of course, I'm not praising the cab. I'm shouting and, calling the cab. That is to hail a cab. So one meaning of hail is also this, that you shout and call someone, right? And in that sense, you are approaching them. In that sense, you want to talk to them, and it's not a very polite conversation because you're shouting and calling someone, right? So even this is a similar idea. To waylay someone, to stop them in their tracks, okay, to interrupt them. Normally, to ambush someone is to waylay them. I have often heard this in various news pieces, right, in various news items, that he or she was waylaid on a secluded road. Okay, the passengers were waylaid on a secluded road. That means they were ambushed and probably something was stolen from them, or they were troubled in some other way, right? So, again, similar synonymous ideas. I am doing two things right now. I am grouping and I am recalling words in the context in which I have heard them, right? Because that helps me to eliminate options pretty easily. Okay, waylay cannot be the opposite of confront. It's also a sort of confrontation. That's how I'm eliminating. Dodge is the answer, of course, here. Quite a few of you said E. Again, good. When you dodge an issue, you avoid it, right? The politician dodged the questions that were asked from him, right? So he or she avoided them, did not confront them, did not address them. So that's why E is the answer here. So group, eliminate, recall the words in the context in which you've heard them. Sometimes that makes things much, much easier. ठीक है? अब आगे चलते हैं. Let's attempt to fill in the blank question. More time for this one. 5 options, 2 blanks. Let's see what you say. All right. So I gave you ample time for this one. Some of you have answered. Good. E, A. Hello, Shubham. What's your answer for this one? E. All right. Quite a few of you say E. I've got a couple of A's so far. Okay. So a pat on my back for making a good question. Right, right. A or E, yes. So this is what you should narrow down to. I want to know whether it is A or E. E, done, full and final. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. See, the teacher gives homework and the students then have to do that homework, right? That's how it works. So first of all, again, go through elimination. These two options could be very easily eliminated, B and C. Has anyone marked B or C? Okay, good. No one has. Concise long does not make sense. That's like an oxymoron. Two opposite words placed together. Concise long answers logically does not make sense. Feeling long answers, okay, it could be about writing, attempting, evaluating, but feeling long answers does not make sense. So even when in any exam that gives you 5 options, 2 or 3 of the options are easily eliminable. Okay, now let's have a look at these three. It is difficult for teachers to handle regular essay type questions for homework because weighing long answers would take too much time. Okay, so the teacher is handling the homework. The teacher is handling the homework because weighing long answers. So, weighing in what sense? Again, it's very vague to place weigh here. First of all, it is not clear what does handling the homework mean for a teacher, right? For a student, I could still understand, okay, probably they're talking about managing the homework there, but for a teacher, difficult to understand this. Similarly, weighing long answers, weighing against what, right? So, in what sense are we weighing them? Very vague. So, good that B, C, D, most of you eliminated. Now, between A and E, look at the context. Now, I'm talking from the perspective of teachers. Fine, a teacher evaluates. So, first one fits absolutely correctly. In fact, it fits better than consider, right? But look at the second blank. because attempting long answers would take too much time. So now I am suddenly talking from the point of view of the, I am talking from the point of view of the student. So this talks from the point of view of the teacher clearly, and this one talks from the point of view of the student. Okay. Whereas when you look at this one, teachers to consider regular essay type questions for homework because writing long answers. So here we can see that we are talking from the perspective of the student in both the cases. So the teacher is considering it for whom? For a student, that okay, I should not give this child regular essay type questions because writing long answers would take too much time for the child, right? So that is why the consideration is happening for the student, the writing is also happening on the part of the student, whereas here the evaluating is happening from the perspective of the teacher. So attempting should not come here in that case. Okay, or it should be made clear for whom are we talking about this attempting. That's the problem with E, because of which A is better. E is a very tempting option in this one, however A is better, right? Makes sense to everyone? All right, then we'll go to the next one. So this was very, it became very logical at the end. The elimination happened on the basis of logic more than language, right? Okay, let's look at this one. Now we have three blanks here, okay, 1, 2, and 3. Again, I've given you, I think, 1 minute for this, ample time. So no dearth of time. So just eliminate, right, and mark. Let's see what you've said in the chat box. Okay, so D, A. Okay, A. Om says finally my answer is A. Others. Harshada says E. Tejas says E. Ashmita E. All right. Vaibhavi says A. So 4. Okay. All right. B also I've got. Okay. So a lot of A's and E's in the chat box again. Again, a pat on my back. Okay. All right. Then B is also okay. B and C, some of you, just one or two of you say B and C also. Um, the opposing. So they are opposing parties, right? Parties comes to my mind. So, E looks tempting, but let's evaluate the other blanks also. The opposing ally does not make sense at all. So those who are saying C, see grammatically also it does not make sense. If they are opposing, that means there are at least two parties. Yes, at least two parties are there. So ally is singular. That cannot come. It should be allies, right? And moreover, if they are opposing and they are allies, again becomes an oxymoron. Two opposite words placed together. Allies are people who are with each other, not opposed. They are not opposing each other. So eliminated. Then the two opposing protagonists, the two opposing heroes. Okay, let's see. In the second blank, dash and clarity of their own beliefs. So, and clarity. That means here also I need a positive word. Dash and clarity. Something similar to clarity. I do not need weakness. I do not need vagueness. I do not need illogicality. So, good. Those of you who eliminated B, C, and D on the basis of the second blank. It's A and E that are the two close options, okay? Uh, Here I say antagonists, which makes sense because they are opposing parties. Anti, okay, this anti here shows that there is some opposition there, okay? Antagonist. Then cogency also makes sense. Cogency of your argument is the logical soundness of your argument or belief. Okay, so cogent means it is logically sound. Cogency. And this is bewitched into thinking. When you are bewitched into something, you are in a way mesmerized into thinking it or enchanted into thinking it, as if someone has cast a spell on you. Okay, so that makes sense. But convinced into thinking, from becoming convinced into thinking actually becomes a little redundant when you say becoming convinced. That is enough. Okay, prevents one from becoming convinced that there is only one truth. Okay, convinced into thinking here becomes a little redundant. Moreover, my strongest objection against E is wisdom. Wisdom of their own beliefs. So clarity के साथ cogency fits much better as compared to wisdom, and that is why see antagonists more appropriate because there is opposition. Cogency more appropriate because of clarity, and convinced makes into thinking redundant. So A is our answer and not E. ठीक है? Make sense to you? All right. Hope this is clear to everyone. Any query, please ask. Yes, wisdom does not fit. Okay, wisdom of their own beliefs. It's too general when we are talking about arguing. In arguments, we talk about cogency of an argument or eloquence of an argument. Eloquence is how appealing it is to your audience. Okay, so we talk about these things when we argue. Eloquence, cogency, not the wisdom. Okay. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. So these were two moderate, too difficult, I would say, fill in the blanks. Okay, so they were not on the easier side. However, your two antonym questions today, they were not on the difficult side. They were, in fact, you could easily eliminate through grouping there, right? Let's have a look at an analogy question because analogy questions have appeared in MAHCET in the past, right? So 5 options again. Let's see what you say. All right. Again, I gave you ample time. To bewitch someone, yes, is to captivate them, okay, to mesmerize them, to as if you've cast a spell on them and they're now under your control. Okay, BEAC. All right. Pretty much everything I've got. Pertinacious is to astute. Are they synonyms? Are they antonyms? These two words? In analogy, you have to first figure out this relationship, isn't it? Also, the options can help you. So, if you see here, grandiose is to simple. They are antonyms. Now, even if you know one more, let's say if you know B here, demure is to indecorous. You know the meanings of these words. Okay, any idea? Who is a demure person? A demure person. Acha, no idea about analogy. Okay, what happens in analogy? In analogy, you are given a pair in the question, a word pair. Now you are asked that find a pair that bears a similar relationship as the given word pair. Similar relationship as the given word pair. So here, so that's why I said that you have to first figure out this relationship. Are they synonyms? Are they antonyms? Is there some other relationship? Okay, and then you go to the options and find, if they are synonyms, you'll find another synonym pair. That's what you do. So now, grandiose is to simple are, this is an antonym pair. Something that's grandiose is way too grand. Okay, it has a negative connotation to it, like pretentiously grand. Okay, so that is grandiose. Now, Demure, on the other hand, in case you read fiction and in case you read some older novels, usually women are described as demure there. Demure means shy. Absolutely correct, Shravasti. Okay, so shy. Indecorous. So I remember hearing this word for the first time in school when my teacher said, please maintain the decorum of the class. Right. So decorum, therefore, I inferred must be about discipline and the right way of behaving in the class. Indecorous, therefore, is someone who does not behave in the right way. Right. So an indisciplined person or somebody who does not behave the right way. Again, an antonym pair. I'm not saying they're exact antonyms, but opposite ideas. So when you have two opposite ideas, probably these are not opposite ideas. Okay, and now this is guesswork. I'm simply guessing here in case I do not know this relationship. So probably they are synonym pairs. And I can clearly see a synonym pair in A. Foible is someone's weakness. The minor weaknesses of a person are called his or her foibles. That is why A is our answer here. Pertinacious is to astute, has a synonymous relationship. Okay, somebody who's pertinacious is very resolute about the course of action that they take. So firm in their belief, firm in their course of action, that is pertinacious. Astute, again I would say, see, it's not an exact synonym pair. ऐसा नहीं है कि बिल्कुल ही उसका substitute है ये. Astute, again, somebody who's once he or she has assessed a situation, he or she would go through that course of action and use it to one's advantage. That is astute. But ये opposite ideas definitely नहीं है. Antonymous definitely नहीं है. इसलिए answers antonyms नहीं हो सकते हैं. Okay, hence A is the answer. So pertinacious, resolute, astute, quick-witted. If I have to give it one word, it would be quick-witted, sharp-witted. Right. Demure and decorous opposite. Chafing is too serious. Chafing means teasing. Okay. So his friends were chafing him or his chafing friends. So no, it's pronounced as chaffing, I think. Chaffing, not chafing. Okay. Chaffing matlab teasing and serious is the opposite idea. So again antonym. So sometimes analogy questions can be difficult because of the words that are involved in them. Okay, so the relationships here, all three had antonym relationships. Even this has a pretty antonymous relationship. Perspicacious, we did it in the last class. Anybody who remembers? Perspicacious. Yes. But संकेत एग्जाम में ज्यादा आ गई तो फिर क्या करेंगे हम बताओ? There you don't have a choice, right? So remember, see, revision is important. If you do not remember what I teach you, then what's the point? Perspicacious. I remember we did this in a question where there were words such as precarious, predictable, perspicacious, okay, precocious. So I even remember the options. It means discerning. Someone who can distinguish between what is right, what is wrong. That person is perspicacious. Okay, so this person will be strong in logic. Absurd, on the other hand, is something that does not make any logical sense at all. So even this cannot be the answer. So I expected you to at least understand D and E. I understand that, okay, these might have been difficult words for you. Chaffing could be difficult, demure, indecorous could be difficult, pertinacious could be difficult. But ye D or E, because we had done E in the last class, should have been understood by you. Okay. Excellent. Those who got A, excellent. If you eliminated, okay, even better. Because that shows that, okay, you've learned the technique. See, as a person, nobody can master all the words in a language, okay, because language is constantly evolving. So if you learn how to smartly infer the meaning, that's all that's required. Okay. All right. Let's look at this one. Not as difficult as the previous one. Let's see. Okay. Tenacious, steadfast, that was pertinacious, correct. Astute is someone who is quick-witted, Vedant. B, okay, D, B, C, A, all right. But I can see more of B's and D's in the chat box. Good, one of them is the answer. Now tell me, is it B or is it D? So simple this one is. Dilate is to contract. Are they synonyms or are they antonyms? Clearly they are antonyms, aren't they? When something dilates, it expands, right? So dilate is to contract, antonym. Scribble is to write. They are not antonymous ideas. Scribbling could be a form of writing also, right? So he scribbled a quick note for his friend and left, right? So they are not antonymous ideas, and therefore B cannot be the answer. It has to be D. Wax is to wane. Okay, anyone who's heard this wax and wane in some context, please tell me. Yes. Contaminate is to spread. Synonym. This is also I'll called synonymous ideas. Hawk is to pawn. A hawker also sells something. When you pawn something, when you pawn a good, we talk about girvi rakh dena in Hindi. Yes, when you pledge your goods. So it's also about in a way keeping your goods with someone else, right? So hawk is to pawn are not antonymous ideas. In case you mark day thinking that. Okay, both are concerned. So both are concerned with giving away goods. Eliminated. Dilute is to lace. When you dilute a drink, sometimes you lace it with something else. Usually, lacing is a term that's used for alcohol and drugs. When you mix drugs in a drink or when you mix alcohol in a drink, that's when we say it was laced with drugs, it was laced with alcohol. But the idea is that it was diluted using it, adulterated using it. So, again, not antonymous ideas. Yes, of moon. Excellent, Ashmita. There's a song, Wax and Wane. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so actually it's associated with the moons, with the lunar cycle. Okay, waxing of the moon is when the moon becomes larger and larger till it becomes the full moon. And waning, when after that period, after that fortnight, it starts decreasing in size. So that is called the waning of moon till new moon, of course. So wax and wane, and this is also used together as an idiom. If I say that his efforts or the movement, let's talk about the freedom movement or any such movement on a person's part, the movement waxed and waned, okay, as the political scenario of the country changed. So the movement waxed, first it increased in its enormity, then it decreased, right? So that is how we also use it as an idiomatic phrase. Excellent, those who mark D. Clear? Perfect, perfect. D Delhi. So these were two analogy questions. See, one was easier, right, as compared to the other. So it's not that if it is an analogy question, it is always going to be difficult. Keep this in mind for every question type. Go through each and every question. There is no negative marking. All right. Give me the incorrect spelling here. So this time we have multiple words. Okay. Let's see. D, E. All right. What else? Okay. E, B. Okay. Okay. You think the spelling of pyrrhia is wrong? Why? What's the spelling? What's the correct spelling of pyrrhia? Hmm. Anybody thinks because of an O, there should be an O somewhere? Does anyone think that? See, I understand you're marking E because pyorrhea has an alternative spelling with an O here, Hoea, right? So, absolutely understood you're marking this. However, both these spellings are acceptable. Both of them are correct. So, E is not the answer. Okay, B is what some of you are saying. Absolutely correct. See, diarrhea again, just like pyorrhea, it works on the same principles for some reason, the spelling. Diarrhea is also spelled in two ways, either this or again with an HOEA spelling. Both are acceptable. DIARRHEA, DIARRHOEA. But OHEA is not correct. So B is our answer here. Others are fine. Okay, good, good, good. Those who were able to identify this, good. And those who said B in the first go, excellent. So, pneumonia, this is the correct spelling. Xenophobia and amnesia, what are these? Xenophobia. So, in your list of phobias and manias, there's one called xenophobia. Fear of what you consider, people whom you consider foreigners. Okay, fear of foreigners is called xenophobia. And what is amnesia? Loss of, कुछ तो बोलो भाई, क्या हो गया? What has happened? Loss of memory loss, amnesia. Right? So this is about these words. All of the others were spelled correctly. It was diarrhea that had a problem, right? Perfect. Let's go to the next one. Now here we have one single word. Tell me which is the correct spelling. Okay. Perfect, perfect. The meaning of amnesia, all of you are correct. C, D, all right. Yash says C, Vedant D, Tejas D. Others? So my reason for giving this spelling particularly is that it came in your exam in 2021. Okay, they asked the correct spelling of this word. The word is otorhinolaryngologist. Who is this person? Yes. What is his or her specialty? D, C. Okay. C versus D in the chat box. All right. So, oto means, let's break the word. And it is laryngo. Okay, so I think now you've got the spelling also. Otorhinolaryngologist. It's a combination of three roots plus, of course, this is also a root here, lagi. So, four roots. Oto is throat. Rhino is nose. A rhinoceros is called a rhinoceros because of the long nose that it has. Laryngo, sorry, oto is ear. I'm so sorry. Oto is ear. Laryngo is throat. Yes. And logist, somebody who studies something, somebody who's a specialist in something, right? So, logi refers to study or science of something. So, a specialist in that. So, that is who an otolaryngologist is. Excellent, Varad. And ENT. Okay, and ENT, ear, nose, throat. So, this correct spelling therefore is C and not D. It's not larynxologist, it's laryngologist. Okay, that was the difference, I believe. Yeah, that was the only difference. So C is the answer here. The ENT doctor, absolutely. And you know, even today, people do not even use the full name. I mean, most of us say ENT, but otherwise also in dictionaries also you will find otolaryngologist. Otolaryngologist. Okay, and not really otorhinolaryngologist, but because it was asked, that's why I also asked you the spelling. Fine. Let's come to the next one now. Word usage. You have to tell me in which of these sentences the word carnage has been used correctly. And if it hasn't been used correctly in any of these, then you know that your answer is none of the above. Okay. So let's see what you say here. Word usage. Okay. So which of the sentences uses the word carnage correctly? First of all, what is the meaning of carnage? Yes. Who will tell me? A virtual toffee to the student who tells me this. Carnage. Is it associated with the word carnivorous in some way? Yes. Carnivorous से कोई relationship है? C or E, okay. D also I've got. Killing, okay. It's a killing, killing of a large number of people. That's a carnage. Carn means flesh or body, right? That is why, carnivorous is someone who eats flesh or body. Carni plus voros becomes carnivorous with a U in between, right? So, this means mass killing. His speeches in the chamber were always carnage. No, not at all. This is a noun, first of all. Here, I need an adjective to describe the speeches. And the speeches were mass killings? No. DVD is the only realistic mass killing to VHS? No. Probably they want to say alternative. Encouraged by the emir. The word that I need is encouraged by the emir. The camel driver related his story confidently enough. My carnage priority. Why? My mass killing priority for the year. So none of them actually make the correct use of this term. Okay. E is our answer. Let's see who said E. The fastest. Uh, was it Business Maestro? Did you say E the fastest? Yes. So E is our answer here. And this is quite possible in the exam also, that let's say in an error spotting question, there is no error. In a word usage question, none of the sentences actually make the correct use of the word. So do not ignore this option E. Do not think, अच्छा ये तो आंसर होगा ही नहीं या फिर ये ही आंसर होगा. Don't go with this mentality. Okay? All right. Chalo, great. Maestro got a virtual toffee. Yes. Idiom. Irons in the fire. What does it mean? Okay, let's see what you say. What is the meaning of this idiom? Kunal, please tell us also what you've written. D, E, okay. C. All right, others. This was a 20-second question. Okay. So I haven't got A and B. Right. So these are answered here to have several activities or projects in progress at the same time. The way we use it is he always has too many irons in the fire. That means he's always in the middle of several things. He always takes up a lot of projects together. Right. So That is the meaning of having too many irons in the fire. The origin of this idiom comes from a blacksmith's profession. Okay, so a blacksmith, if he or she tries to heat a large number of, let's say, iron rods together, then the fire gets cooled down, the coals get cooled down, and none of the iron rods will get heated up accurately, okay, or to the extent that the blacksmith would want them. So that is the meaning of having too many irons in the fire, right? D is the answer. All right. So this was the meaning of this idiom. Now you can use it because in let's say your life, in college, in office, we are always multitasking these days. So we always have too many irons in the fire. Okay. All right. One word substitution. Tell me, insolent or impertinent behavior? All right. I've got D already. I hope it's for this one. What do the others say? C, okay. Is it because we've studied this word earlier? We've learned this word, insouciance? Is that the reason? I like the emoji, Bharat. Okay. Insouciance is when you just don't care. You know, it's indifference. Nonchalance is the synonym. It means you're past caring. That's the idea. It does not mean that you're rude, impertinent, insolent. Now you're rude, you're insulting the other person. That's insolent, that's impertinent. Yes, E, okay. E is chivalry. Chivalry is when you're respectful. So chivalry is an antonym. Diplomacy does not involve any insolent or impertinent behavior. When you're diplomatic, in fact, you're very tactful. Panegyric. Panegyric is a noun. It means a spoken or written account praising someone. So when you say or write something praising someone, that's that thing that you speak or write, that is called a panegyric. Okay, a spoken or written praise. So it's effrontery. When you know, we say that he took it as an affront. This is a very common context in which I have heard it. Oh, I did not mean it that way, but he took it as an affront. उसने insulting way में ले लिया, right? He took it as an insult. Affront is insult. So effrontery is the noun that I am looking for. Okay. All right. Fine. B, Bangalore is the answer here. Hope this is clear to everyone. Insouciance is indifference, not insulting. Okay. Now, let's come to a couple of preposition questions. Okay, let's attempt them quickly because it's a commonly asked topic in your exams. Bruce did not fare well, dash his examination. What do you say? To not fare well means to not do well. So did not fare well. Let's see. I'm just a little scared that if I refresh, the class may end. Okay, A, all right. Again A, quite a few A's. All right, all right. Perfect. A is the answer. You don't fare well in something. It could be a subject, it could be an event, okay, it could be a competition, right? So after fare well, we use the preposition in. Remember that. Okay. So good. Another question here. Let me take you to an identifying the correct sentence question. Again, very easy. Just pay attention and I assure you will get it right. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. So, when fishing, you can always tell when you see associate LOSE lose with a loss. Okay, always associate LOSE wala lose with a loss. Right. So you have lost the fish, isn't it? You haven't got the fish. That means you've lost the fish. So I need LOSE lose here. That means A, D, or E. Okay. Because the line feels loose. Now loose, tight. When you are using loose as the opposite of tight, then it takes a double O. Okay, it takes a double O. So associate this double O with loose, something that's okay, uh, way too loose. So again, D does not fit, E does not fit, it's only A. Excellent. A, full and final correct answer, bilkul. Right? So great, great. All of you identified this correctly. All right, then the last question for the day, spot the error here. Okay, let's see what you say. Hmm. Should it be bitter cold? C is what a lot of you say. We had to stay at home the whole day. So what's wrong with that? The incorrect part rather is this. There is nothing wrong with this. We had to stay at home the whole day. That's fine. It was bitterly cold. Not bitter cold. See, cold is already an adjective. If you want to describe an adjective, you can't use another adjective like this. You can't use, sorry, another adjective like this. You have to describe an adjective using an adverb. So it was bitterly cold, okay? And not it was bitter cold. That was the error there. So I hope now you've learned it. To describe an adjective, we use an adverb. You also learned the difference between LOSE lose and LOOSE lose, right? And after farewell, we use the preposition in, right? So hope this is clear to everyone. And these were some vocabulary and grammar questions for the day, right? In case any of you are planning to take CAT 23, you know we have a batch available. The link is in the description box. You can see more and enroll, right? Then for making this batch accessible, we also have a scholarship program. So you can get up to a 90% scholarship if you score well in this test that is going to happen on the 18th March at 7 p.m. And yes, this series is going on. I hope you're attending the 100 most expected series for QA and LR as well, right? I'll again see you tomorrow with another session, okay? Was at mandatory before home. We had to stay home. No, it wasn't mandatory, Sayak. But it isn't. It is not incorrect. That's the point. Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome. And yes, don't forget that we have launched this daily section-wise quiz for you on the BYJU'S Exam Prep app, right? So the link for this must be pinned in your chat box. If it hasn't been, it will be pinned. Okay. Uh, just download the app and there you'll get this section wise quiz. I think it will be very beneficial for all of you who are taking MAHCET, CMAT, because you are always asking me the source that from where can we practice. So these are some free questions for you. Please practice. Okay. Welcome all of you. I hope you've subscribed to the channel. I hope you've liked the session and I'll see you. Bye bye.